आ जाओ दोस्तों, खेलते हैं इंडस। शरबतों का तू मीठे घाट का पानी, मुझे खुद में घोल दे तो मेरे यार बात बन जाए। रंग शरबतों का तू मीठे घाट का पानी, मुझे खुद में घोल दे तो मेरे यार बात बन जाए। मैं रंग शरबतों का तू मीठे घाट का पानी। अरे भाई किस्मत ही खराब है ब्रो। मैं रंग शरबतों का तू मीठे घाट का पानी, मुझे खुद में घोल दे मेरे यार बात बन जाने। रंग शरबतों का तू मीठे घाट का पानी, मुझे खुद। जो भी देख रहे स्ट्रीम को भाई लाइक कर दो, और चैनल पे नया हो तो प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब करो, और ब्रो कमेंट में बताओ कहाँ से हो भाई। और खेलना है तो साथ में अगर आ जाओ, साथ में खेलते हैं यार। मैं रंग शरबतों का तू मीठे घाट का पानी, मुझे खुद में घोल दे तो मेरे यार बात बन जाए। 3 दिन से भाई मेरा वाईफाई खराब था यार, 3 दिन से मैं स्ट्रीम नहीं कर पाया हूँ। मुझे खुद में घोल दे तो मेरे यार बात बन जाए। तड़का तू मीठे घाट का पानी, मुझे खुद में घोल दे तो मेरे यार बात बन जाए।
Orbital drop incoming. Nirvana is closing in.
मुझे खुद में खोल दे तो मेरे यार बात बन जाए रंग शरबतों का तू मीठ घाट का मुझे खुद में खोल दे तो मेरे यार बात बन जाए रंग शरबतों का तू मीठ घाट का पानी मुझे खुद में खोल दे तो भाई लाइक कर दो स्ट्रीम को जो भी देख रहा है चैनल पे नए हो तो प्लीज सब्सक्राइब ब्रदर बताओ कहाँ हो भाई कहाँ से
Location marked.
यूरेनियम फिर से आ गया मेरे साथ मुझे खुद में खोल दे।
Orbital drop incoming.
मुझे खुद में खोल दे तो मेरे यार।
Nirvana is closing in.
अरे इसका सब छीन लिया। नेजा आ रहा हूँ बीसी आ रहा हूँ 1 मिनट दे दो। मेरे यार बात बन जा रंग शरबतों का तू मीठ घाट का पानी। हेलो।
हेलो।
हाँ।
भाई मैसेज वैसे कुछ करे नहीं, स्ट्रीम ही चालू कर ली डायरेक्ट।
अरे तुम्हारा ऑफलाइन दिखा रहा था, मैं फिर कहा कि चलो चालू करते हैं।
अच्छा, अभी कितनी देर में खत्म करोगे स्ट्रीम?
अभी तो रात तक चलेगा।
अबे यार, जी का मैच देखते ना अपन।
क्या?
वीसीटी देखते भी।
अच्छा।
मैच आने अगले लगेगा आधे घंटे में भी एक।
अच्छा अच्छा।
जी का।
ओके तो ठीक है, वॉच पार्टी मार देते हैं।
वॉच पार्टी नहीं मार सकते, वो लाइव पे देख नहीं सकते
लाइव पे नहीं देख सकते हैं?
जहां तक मुझे पता है।
क्यों?
वेट मिनट, चेक करने दो मेरे को। एक मिनट में देख के बताता हूँ लाइव कर सकते हैं कि नहीं। कर सकते हैं।
कर सकते हैं ना। चलो तो उसी कुछ कर देखते हैं। देखता हूँ क्या है। यूट्यूब पे ही ना?
क्या हुआ?
यूट्यूब पे ही ना?
हाँ यूट्यूब पे ही।
वैलोरेंट। अरे भाई वैलोरेंट का अभी सबसे ज़्यादा वाचिंग आ रही है।
क्या?
जी वर्सेस DFM।
हाँ वही मैच देखना है, जी इंडियन टीम है।
ओके।
या फिर स्ट्रीम के बिन स्ट्रीम के कर देख लो यार, मुझे सही से पता नहीं है, अभी कंफर्म नहीं है।
तो ये तो कर रहा है वाच पार्टी।
हाँ लोग कर रहे हैं पर पता नहीं है ना कहाँ से कर रहे हैं। यूट्यूब यूट्यूब का सीन होता है थोड़ा, जहाँ तक
हाँ
मुझे पता है।
हाँ, देखते हैं। देखता हूँ, एक मिनट रुको।
कमिटिंग।
ये तो देख रहा है शायद।
नहीं कमेंट नहीं किया अभी तक, बट है काफी लोग हैं फिलहाल।
ना छोड़ो, रहने दो।
क्यों?
पता नहीं ना मेरे को कि ट्विच पे से देख रहे हैं या फिर यूट्यूब से ही देख रहे हैं, तो जस्ट लीव इट।
एक मिनट देखता हूँ।
They are a little bit weak, but Cushy with good cover will be able to pick up the kill himself and the defuse. 5 points for the Sova towards his Huntress Fury.
दिख जाएगा,
Just
एक
in
मिनट
one
में बता
round.
रहा हूँ। रूसी
A
क्या
lot
नाम
going
है
his
इनका,
way
इनके
for
जो
Cushy. And right here,
फाउंडर
I
हैं
mean, just so aware,
जी
despite
के।
the fact that they're not
हाँ
going
तो
to see
उनको तो
any
एक्सेस
type
होगा भाई,
of
उनकी टीम खेल रही है।
Everything should be okay now.
मुझे
Just
पता
if
नहीं
you
है कि ये
First
ट्विच
kill,
का
a
क्या
good
सीन
pick
है,
as
इससे
well.
बेटर है कि अभी स्ट्रीम
Common
कर लो, जब
collective.
मैच चालू होगा
Cushy's
तब अपन देख
trying to
लेंगे।
bait them out with the low health
let me
kills.
know if
मैच तो
it's fine
चालू
now.
है।
Just refresh. We should
अभी
be
नहीं,
good
अभी
to go.
दूसरी टीम का हो रहा है, टीम सीक्रेट का हो रहा है अभी।
अच्छा,
I hope.
वो ऐसे ही मतलब वो खेल
I
रहे
hope.
हैं।
अब हाँ,
I hope.
अभी दूसरी टीम का है भाई, अलग अलग टीम होती है,
Mm-hmm.
थोड़ी कि एक टीम ही खेलती है।
MGF KI2YT with you, I will play with you. नाइस ब्रदर, सेंड मी और वो क्या कहते हैं, इस आईडी भेजो अपना।
एक मैच खेल लो, फिर मैं आपको जब बता दूंगा, जब चालू होगा ना
हाँ हाँ
तब आप या तो स्ट्रीम बंद कर देना या विल बी राइट बैक कर देना। मैच तो देखते हैं, वो
हाँ
अच्छा है,
हाँ हाँ,
जी का तो मजा आएगा।
ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, ओके
ठीक है, मैं बता दूंगा आपको आके।
ओके।
अभी तो आप स्ट्रीम कर लो।
Location locked. Orbital drop incoming.
हेलो हेलो।
IT bot game.
Location marked.
हेलो ब्रो, हेलो हेलो।
हाँ हाँ बोलो।
Location marked.
हाँ हाँ हाँ, आ रही है।
Location marked.
उतारो उतारो उतारो।
Location marked.
ऑलरेडी बंदे आ चुके हैं।
हाँ भाई, आगे बिल्कुल।
मेरे पास आओ। हेलो हेलो, आवाज़ जा रही है मेरी? अरे तुम लोगों का ये हेडफोन कितना नॉइज़ कर रहा है भाई।
अरे ब्रो, टीम सपोर्ट में खेलो यार, क्या तुम तो उतरते के साथ मर रहे हो।
टीम सपोर्ट में खेल रहा था भाई, तुम लोग मार्क किए वहाँ पे उतरा। तुम लोग पता नहीं कहाँ रह गए।
देना मुझे। पता नहीं नीचे से कोई खड़ा
भाई हेडफोन लगा लो, तुम लोगों का साउंड इको हो रहा है, दोबारा दोबारा आ रहा है।
अब साथ में रहना।
क्या?
मैं कह रहा हूँ अब तो
मत करो यार।
क्या बोल रहे थे भाई?
हेडफोन लगा लिया करो
Navigation
यार।
marked.
उतारो उतारो।
Navigation marked.
अनफॉलो कर लो करके अपने अपने लूट के पास उतरो यार, जहाँ लूट मिले वहाँ उतरो।
देखो यार,
2 नंबर नीचे एक स्क्वाड उतरी है, देख के थोड़ा। हाँ,
अरे यार,
Orbital drop incoming. Nirvana is closing in. Location marked.
एक मिनट आ गया भाई वीसी। हेलो।
हेलो।
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
हाँ चालू होने वाला है, जल्दी आ जाओ जल्दी आ जाओ।
अच्छा ठीक है, एक मिनट बस मैच को ख़त्म करता हूँ, बस आता हूँ।
जल्दी रश करो, पूरा पूरा रश करके खेलो एकदम
हाँ।
जल्दी। स्क्रीन शेयर कौन करेगा, मैं करूँ या आप करोगे?
क्या?
स्क्रीन शेयर कौन करेगा?
कोई भी कर लेगा, तुम कर लो, मैं
नहीं
देख।
आप ही कर देना।
अच्छा ठीक।
VCT पैसिफिक, मैं जब तक देखूं कि मैच कितना चालू हो गया। अगर ये मैच हार गई ना जी, तो भैया जी गई बाहर, तो
अच्छा
हारना नहीं है जी को। ओके अभी अभी तो टाइम है, अभी टाइम है, अभी टाइम है, आराम से खेल लो।
टाइम है तो
Location marked.
Just like off out. What is? Okay, no, it's not. It's. Oh yes.
Location marked.
आप देखियोगे पहले से कोई VCT का मैच? नहीं
नहीं, कभी
हाँ,
कभार
पहला ही
मतलब
है।
ऐसे ही आ गया है तो मतलब देख लिया हूँ। एक दिन
मजा आता है VCT का।
रात को देख रहा था बस, मतलब वो पता नहीं कौन कौन सी।
Orbital drop incoming. Nirvana is closing in.
वाह।
क्या देख रहे हो मैच?
क्या हुआ?
मैच देख रहे हो?
अभी चालू नहीं हुआ, होने वाला है।
अच्छा।
आप खेल लो, जब तक खत्म कर लो अपना सब कुछ। जब चालू होगा मैं बता दूंगा। म्यूट हो अभी मैं।
ठीक। एक मिनट में अपना वो कर दे रहा हूँ, डिस्कॉर्ड का लिंक। अच्छा, ये क्यों आ रहा है? हिडन यूज कॉपी बटन। कॉपी कर लिया, अब मैं वहाँ पे डालना चाहता हूँ तो हिडन यूज कॉपी बटन ही आएगा। जैसे यहाँ पे मैं डाला कंट्रोल भी नहीं आ रहा है, वही हिडन कॉपी बटन ही आ रहा है। जब डिस्कॉर्ड में शेयर करना चाहता हूँ डिस्कॉर्ड का लिंक, तो ऐसा क्यों आ रहा है? हिडन कॉपी बटन।
Location marked.
क्या बोल रहे हो?
अरे जब डिस्कॉर्ड का मैं वो करना चाहता हूँ, शेयर करना चाहता हूँ आईडी।
स्क्रीन शेयर करो, स्क्रीन शेयर।
ओके, अभी रुक जाओ, अभी तो मैच में आ गया।
आवाज़ तो नहीं आ रही ना मेरी खाना खाने की?
नहीं।
हाँ, कहीं मैं सोचो आवाज़ आ रही है।
इस पे मार रहा है। गन मुझे भी मिल जाए तो ना, मैं भी मारूं। खा ले भाई।
करो स्क्रीन शेयर।
अरे मैच में।
अच्छा, बाद में करना, फिर बाद में बताना।
Orbital drop incoming.
ऊपर बंदा है, ऊपर बंदा है। कितना भाई लैग हो रहा है।
Nirvana is closing in.
अल्लाह
Location marked. Orbital drop incoming.
Nirvana is closing in.
आ जाओ, चालू हो गया।
आराम
दूसरा मैच लगा लिया क्या आपने?
हाँ
गंदी बात। यस।
क्या हुआ इतना एक्साइटेड क्यों हो?
चल देख रहे हो आप?
हाँ?
चालू करो।
चैट मेरा
लगा लिया, चालू कर रहे हो?
चालू कर रहा हूँ, 2 मिनट रुको, अब मरने ही वाला हूँ। 2 ही बंदे बचे हैं।
बता दो आपको लोर।
Location marked. Location.
चलो मैं देख रहा हूँ, कहाँ लिंक भेजो मेरे।
VCT Pacific। सर्च कर लो VCT Pacific 2025 है, बस VCT Pacific कर लो, लाइव आ जाएगी DFM वर्सेस GE वाली। लाइव देखना किसी की, मतलब वॉच पार्टी मत देखना, बहुत सारे क्रिएटर वॉच पार्टी। और स्क्रीन शेयर करना।
VCT पैसिफिक, हाँ ये तो अभी चल रहा है, वो कमेंट्री चल रहा है।
बैन, अरे मैप बैन कर रहे हैं ना। जी ने स्प्लिट पिक किया है, DFF ने अबिस पिक किया है, डिसाइडर मैप लोटस है। तो जो जी का स्प्लिट है वो बहुत स्ट्रांग है। जी में 5 प्लेयर है, अपन जी को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं क्योंकि जी इंडियन ऑर्ग है, प्लेयर्स इंडियन नहीं है पर ऑर्ग इंडियन है। ठीक है, ये लो रहा है। बाकी जी एक मैच हारी थी और एक मैच जीत गई थी, तो ये अगर ये हार गए तो गए ही घर पे। और 2 मैप फर्स्ट टू 2 में विन होगा, मतलब फर्स्ट टू 2 मैप विन होगा। ठीक है,
looking at this map pool, like this is very winnable for DFM. I feel like they could win all 3 of those maps, and 2 of those maps for GE I'm pretty worried about.
Do you want to change your prediction then? Because we did a predictions before the map draft comes in.
ये जितने भी कास्टर्स है वो सब चूज करे कौन सी टीम जीतेगी।
You're feeling a little bit more in the favor of DFM.
I'm not going to change it, but I could definitely see DFM winning. In fact, I might even favor them.
मैं बता रहा था, आपको क्या पता कास्टर्स की कौन है ये लोग? आपको क्या पता नीचे वाले जो नाम से ये किन के हैं, कास्टर्स से कि कौन है ये लोग? तो ये सब कास्टर्स हैं। स्क्रीन शेयर कर रहे हो?
We're just gonna see what happens. We're gonna send it down to the stage and let time tell.
By the way,
let's welcome
14-14
the teams
पे
DFM
भी है।
and Global Esports.
चलो चलो, अब के वो स्टार्ट हो रहा है, वॉकआउट चालू हो रहा है, वॉकआउट। एक्साइटेड हूँ मैं, बस ये हारने नहीं चाहिए, ये वाली टीम बहुत अच्छी तो लग रही है। तो यार मेरे को एक बार बोलो।
क्या बोलूं?
कुछ नहीं, वॉइस सेट करता था। राइज पैसिफिक ये सब भी करने लग गए लोग। ओ वॉकआउट। मैं ज़्यादा बोलूँगा नहीं, मेरा गेम में ध्यान होगा।
ठीक है।
क्वालिटी देख रहे हो एकदम, स्टेज इतना बड़ा, ये सब। और ये तो किक ऑफ है, अभी सबसे बड़ा भी नहीं है तो टूर्नामेंट।
VCT Pacific 2025.
Yep, it's kickoff time, and we have 2 of the freshest rosters in Pacific facing off against one another. We have DFM here, and of course May leading the pack here with his, they always have the best walkouts. I think we can give out the walkout prize to DFM already.
I love a good walkout. There's nothing more fun. It shows me you're ready to go. It shows me you're having a great time and loving life.
Yeah. I mean, they might not have many more walkouts if they play like they have been in the first series. That's what I'm gonna say.
That's harsh.
Oh, don't say that. Look,
I've been smack talking the Japanese teams way too much today. I need to relax.
Well, they're going to be facing off Global Esports. This is a team that's had an also equally rough time here in Pacific over the last 2 years. But this is such a different look for this team. Both of these squads facing off against each other. And you know what? There was once a time, I'm sorry, Big Time, there was once upon a time seeing these 2 teams face off against each other. We weren't particularly super excited, but I think we're really excited now.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think there's a lot of potential on this stage. I think a lot of these players are built to have these big careers. I think there's just so much to look forward to from both of these rosters, and it's very sad that we have to say goodbye to one of them today.
Yeah, I totally agree, but at the same time, we've got a newer roster formed for both of them, and you can't be consistent when you're putting something together, especially for an accelerated format like Kickoff. You're bound to stumble here and there. You've seen stumbles from both of these teams. That is why they're in the lower brackets, so let's see who's going to be able to pick themselves back up today.
Yeah, that is definitely the question. Both of these teams have excellent players. They have had all had really great showings right now, but I have to say, especially on the side of Global Esports, I can understand why you guys picked GE as your prediction today. Performances from Crystal, you know, coming from VCT China as an IGL experience, kind of acting as a second IGL on this squad under Kelly S, and it's been working out really marvelously for them.
Yeah, having that secondary caller can be huge just to be able to mid-round a little bit, give some ideas. He's often playing the info in it as well, so being able to read the setups and things like that, gather the info and set up the team for success really helps out. Look at the comps here, looks like GE is going to back themselves with the comp change from the last game. It was an improvement from their first series here in Pacific, their third time playing Abyss. Hopefully it's going to be the third time lucky. For DFM, they swapped off that Cypher on Jimpung a while ago. This was the same comp they played against RRQ.
Yeah, the DFM comp is what we see a lot with that DICE double controller with the Omen and the Astra designed to just sequentially take space and has a lot of strong potential to anchor with the Astra as well there. G with
ये डेरियन की जो ऑफ है ना ये बहुत ज़्यादा इनकंसिस्टेंट है या तो ये बहुत ही मारेगा ये बिल्कुल ही नहीं मारेगा
इसका डेरियन के
जी का जो जी का चेम्बर है ना वो डेरियन है उसकी ऑफ है ना बहुत ही ज़्यादा ऐसी है कि या तो अगर ये मारने पे आया तो सबको ही पीटेगा और अगर ये नहीं ना तो ये बस पूरे मैच ही सो जाएगा ये तो बस हो डेरियन अच्छा खेल लेगा मैच तो जीत जाएंगे स्प्लिट तो इनका बहुत अच्छा है इनका पता है मेन डुएलिस्ट बेचारों को आ ही नहीं पाया जी का जो पेड्रिक वो है ना उसका वीजा का इशू हो गया तो ये टीम अभी फुल नहीं है पूरी तरह से
Yeah, it really does feel like that. Just again, like looking at the map, like Pilsky said, you really can't fully tell. And then this chamber, I'm feeling a little bit iffy. I normally love Darian, but
yeah, I mean, I think we're
like देखो ये भी बात कर रहे हैं ना डेरियन के ऑफ की चेंबर की बहुत इनकंसिस्टेंट है उसका
still leaving this abyss open despite some of the mishaps, but this time some consistency carried over, sticking with that chamber composition. And I think we saw some inklings of okay, this is what the theory is behind it. They just weren't able to get the win. We'll see if it's cleaned up a bit more in just 2 days time. GE
दो क्लासिक पे 3 क्लासिक पे जा रहे हैं जी के
DFM will be looking to
क्लासिक है
क्लासिक है डेरियन लिया है
अरे तो उसको चेंबर है ना वो चेंबर का हेड हंटर यूज करेगा और बाकी दोनों शेरिफ और घोस्ट लिए उनकी तरफ से 2 जा रहे हैं जो ओमन और वो है सोगा वो यूटिल लियोगे चलो चलो पहला राउंड निकालना जरूरी है डेरियन अगेन रैंप बॉम्ब का उनको पता चल गया भाई पहला ही
so Darion just nowhere to go. It's just gonna fall.
Second one with the wall bang as well. Oh my god. Now DFM
they are ready for this
kind
bomb.
of get free reign across the map. Be slowly a little bit in towards B now. There are still some stars to work against.
There's gonna be some long range from Yudotan trying to keep them at bay, but he takes so much damage down to 6. You have to give him space for an inkling. It's going to be a re-clear from Poppy as well. The high low, but Poppy falling. That leaves Yudotan again with just low health.
अगर उड़ो 1-2 के सर उड़ाए तो
maybe not all hope is lost, but still
2 versus 3 है
do quite a bit. Yudotan
क्रिस्टल नो लग गए
oh straight in towards the smoke. It's just Jinpung
अरे
taking down
यार
Crystal.
And Yudotan already just taking the choice of, hey, I'll get whatever kills I can on the exit. Gonna run in, see if he can catch anyone.
उनको पता भी चल गया
Looks like they heard some noise right there at the end, so they're ready for it. They'll mass themselves away. Yudotan should be falling to the spam. Aren't gonna get a second one for that.
मैं बोला ना डेरियन का जो चेंबर है ना मुझे पसंद ही नहीं है
हेलो ब्रो मीना वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम ब्रदर अभी इंडस खेला था भाई नहीं हां स्ट्रीम हो रहा है
चलो करिए लो
बताओ
बताओ यार डेरियन चला हरवा देगा
being able to find those angles and duels against GE.
Yeah, when you get taken out that quickly in the pistol round, right? And especially not having that rendezvous set up, a bit of a mishap on the side of GE. I wonder how much more
भाई इंडस अभी खेला था थोड़ा सा ये मैच का वो कर रहा हूँ उसके बाद मैं खेलता हूँ इंडस खेलता हूँ
ओके डीएफएम अगेन हिट करके भी
to set that up or at least just give yourself some kind of an escape route, but right now next round straight in towards
फ्री साइड मिल गई रीटेक करेंगे वो लोग
everything open up for DFM.
Yeah, just stacking onto A side. GE, they take that choice and down they go. The Lemmings off the map. And it is a flawless by choice.
सब गिर गए।
कूद गए, पैसा और भी नहीं देने थे उनको।
Well, I guess somebody's choice.
भाई ये लोग पूरे नीचे कूद गिर गए।
जो भाई मैं डिस्कॉर्ड का लिंक देता हूँ, आप पिन करो। हाँ, पिन कर देता हूँ।
जी भाई, मुझे बाकियों का रिएक्शन देख रहा होगा इस पे। कूद गए भाई।
I want a team. I want this to be the new meta. All right, on your anti-eco, you go B, but you have someone with the
एक्चुअली
Ares
में
waiting
इसको
instead of
डिस्कॉर्ड में
B.
हम देख सकते हैं ना।
Once the spike's planted, you just start running into the site and see if you
Discord
can
में
gun them
कैसे
down
मतलब?
before they hit the ground.
Watch
Just pick up
party.
those free ult orbs. We gotta stop this. Stop this nonsense. Anyway, GE now with their own buy. Send out the recon. It does get shot down immediately. So some presence, but not sure of the exact information. Crystal doesn't have a good out right now. Just some smokes to mask his position. It's gonna be the double fake smokes coming up from TFM, and then they look to jump in, but the fault line delays just in time.
Yeah, good timing on the util back there from Kelly S, but right now, I mean, Art still being able to barrel through in towards the site. Sees that backside is clear, so the spike gets planted, but Heaven now a little bit more presence out from GE.
Spike is planted in a way where you have to fight on site. They have to just hold on. They cannot back out. It's not a great angle. So DFM, they'll be sending everything. They know there's one Heaven. They know there's multiple in the back of site as well.
Yeah, Art trying to send some util too. Has to be a little bit careful with Crystal right around the corner, but straight into it. May now trusting his aim to hold off against the smoke. First kill goes down. Picks up the Phantom. GE not quite able to break through just yet.
So much time already passed, and May still free to just duel
अरे
back
इसमें
to
नहीं
back
दिखा
to
रहा है।
back. He's isolating these fights so well, eventually gets shot down. Poppy and Darian, they open it up. But time not on their side. Akame still holding onto the site, and it has to be a save.
Straight up, just no chance whatsoever. All those smokes and everything cycled through. So much time already spent and burnt, and unfortunate for
भाई ऐसे
GE
नहीं कर
because
सकता हूँ।
this
Chat
bonus
cooking.
goes again to DFM.
Yeah, Jian, sure, he loses out on that weapon, but it was your bonus, so you're pretty happy. You'll still be able to snowball forward. The most important thing is you committed to just staying on that site, fighting for it, and it actually led to a round win. And now, I mean, every time we see May holding that backside, ready for the anti-flash, you gotta get scared because we've seen so many highlights from this kid right there in that same exact position, once again, leading the charge.
Really right where he's able to make it happen. Still though, being able to keep some of these guns at least for GE, maybe able to strike back. There is a bit of a stack towards the B site.
Waiting for that push out, given the round, they know that there were saves, so they imagine kind of these hero rifles gonna be doubled up and pushing out. Crystal just holding on his own. He cannot land the headshot and eventually gets taken down. Just a little bit of damage against May.
I don't know, even if he did, it's just way too wide of a
3-0
position to
भाई।
be in, so that is going to be the open A site now for DFM. Fully on through and in.
ये पे पूरा चले गए। अरे यार।
Towards the back side of things, but how do you really launch a retake like this? You're just looking for, you know, maybe some possible kills to start things off.
Yeah, they are going to have that fault line to peek, but look at Art's position. He has no intent on fighting this. They want to catch info and then back out in towards the site. He's going to see it. He's going to back out. There's that fault line, but there's the recon. Jinbung by him as well. It is more than one. So DFM almost baiting them in towards the kills. If Art gets it, great, but if May or anybody else can, it's even better. Art going to continue charging forward. May gets 2 for his name as well.
Now finding all that. Just the last one is going to be Kelly S, who's still able to find a couple of shots, so not too bad for GE, but Jin will be able to pick it up at the very end of it all.
Looking very smooth at the start so far. DFM surely happy with their map hit in the first couple rounds. Not only identifying the fact that they had some good success on this against RQ, but also the fact that GE still showed some weaknesses. And right now, I mean, they're not even giving GE much time to really regroup and say, okay, what do we adapt from round to round?
Yeah, really not too much of it, just given the guns at the same time. But right now, first full buy truly coming up from GE.
The operator for Darian. It has to come down to this, right? You're relying on the chamber being able to hold down these long sight lines. Yotan not able to really dodge the flash, but still trying to hold on to the position.
Sensing the util reinforcement call already made. The Hunter Sphere being sent through. It's an all-in from DFM. Straight off towards the off angle, though. Yudotan not quite able to find too much just yet. Darren up from heaven, picking up the first. Yudotan falling back in towards the smoke just to buy a little bit more time.
Yeah, but now they have so much more room to re-clear, so I love the fast flash, but May is going to get 1G in there for the cover, and they'll hold on to the back of sight.
Quick with the gravity well as well. Now the cloud burst just to,
जी का तो बैंड बजा रहे हैं भाई।
peeks into the shot from Jien. All that's left is Darren has to hold on to the up, but swaps over to the Headhunter, not quite able to land the shots. May takes him down for the 5-0 on DFM.
Suddenly that round win streak, not sure if it calls for a timeout. Obviously Econ not quite there, so it is a choice whether you call it now just for tempo or whether you're gonna maybe call it on that next buy round if the player still cannot quite figure it out in the server. But I'll be honest, the more I think about it, it's just like, can you, as a player in the server, are you even able to really process what's going on right now? The rounds have been so quick.
Way too much. Maybe needing, a bit of a pause at some point, but all right, G with the eco just straight up pushes out from mid, spots out Jien, but still Jien able to hold back. A bit of a stun, and he's able to find at least one, but Akami trades right back.
Everybody pinged as well. No clearance on the recon. GE surely a timeout after this round, as they're not able to execute their plans to perfection. May on a scouting mission on his own. Look at how much they trust him. Has that Vandal in hand, but just full faith that he will win the duels. Can he win the 1v2? Okay, he will eventually drop, but no weapon given over.
A little bit too hot for Kelly S. You think about possible other players coming through. Mid was kind of cleared out by Art as well, so he's able to set up the link outside of fence.
Yeah, and just look at where they have to go, right? Kelly S, because of that mid pressure earlier that they weren't able to reclaim that area, he has to back out all the way. He can't wait to see if they're gonna protect that Vandal dropped. Now he's back on the site, he gets one kill, isolating the 1v1s, he's red. No, he doesn't quite see it! I thought he might be, but looking the wrong way.
A tiny sliver. Unfortunately, kind of blending in towards the wall as well, but right now, holding on to it's just Darien, out with the Headhunter, still not able to land the flicks. DFM continue forward.
So much expected of Darian's chamber pick here, just given the combination that they have, right? It's either him or Unoton that really needs to go out, everyone else just a supporting cast. And their last match, I mean, Darien started to warm up. I mean, the desk kind of joked about it. You gotta tell him that it's map 3 every time because he really starts to pick things back up, but maybe this time it's still that first map coming through for Darien, not able to start right off at full speed.
Certainly gotta wonder, you know, what that speaks to the mentality on the GE side for now. So the timeout hopefully allowing them to kind of reset. Because so far, you know, like you mentioned, even with the game plans, the execution just not really quite there. And it's also to the credit of DFM who were able to start things off so quickly, so hot.
I do wonder if there's a consideration here to go for re-clears yourself. Now, looking at the compositions, I mean, yeah, you're much better at setting up and then planting the chamber or the jet somewhere aggressive so they can hold that angle, get the early pick, things like that, especially on defense. But DFM right now is so prepared for those early positions. They're just clearing out A main and then mid immediately every single round, back to back to back. So if you just wait for their usage to come out first, go for a little bit of a re-clear, and then start to plant your feet. Wonder if that maybe gets you a bit more value. For now, position-wise, Darien gonna switch over to the A side. It is gonna be that operator. So it looks like they're gonna wait for the early tag on the 0 point and then start to creep back in.
There's that creep.
Oh, but there's so much distance to cover. Recon bolt, yeah, so here you go, right? You wait for that early util, but he has to get scared and run away. Just too many pre-fire shots coming through.
He was kind of holding on to it as well with the blades now. Off to the one and done spot. Drone will suss him out though, so needing to kind of hang back while the rest of the team maybe inching a little bit closer towards B now, where Poppy is jiggling.
But when this happens, GE has to have a different plan to push out and gain space elsewhere. Right now, you've just given up A main, and you haven't really gained anything else. B, always going to be a bit of a stalemate. But mid, Unoton jiggle peeking, he has info, but you don't really have any space to control to say, okay, this is the deduction, this is where the opponents are coming from. And GE, now they just have to rely on that first shot.
Yeah, still a really passive plan overall, and hinging on Darien with that first shot once again. He does have Crystal with him though, so maybe a little bit more support, but now with the null command, don't really have the rendezvous. Straight into the site and so much space afforded to DFM. Crystal though, great opening shot against me.
Unoton has to make a good choice on when he needs to pop out. Crystal's waiting for the call as well. They're just gonna try to go for the spam. Just wait for the backup to arrive. Right now, Poppy coming through, and there's the spray from Yudotan. He only gets one. The Rolling Thunder not able to fully clear the site just yet. Akame eventually getting taken down. Jinbung, he's ready for one more, but there's just too many angles. He gets one. The fault line eventually keeps him tied up, and GE will finally pick up a round.
So just kind of playing it safe, trying to get the read for it, and quickly rotating on over. I mean, a little bit more textbook, but also with that fault line keeping them honest. GE able to find a round back into the game.
Yeah, this is a rough one. I mean, because you still get the round win, but you have to miss so much, right? It's double ults, all the util, but you'll take whatever round win you can. And Kelly's once again trying to get everyone on board.
And it was Crystal with the opening shot too, so tiny little details with how they are able to spot, you know, possibly players who are trying to get onto its elevated spots, but then it can only work a little bit. Now the tour de force with a peek out from Darian.
Yeah, I like that you take this position. I would love to see them do this more often whenever they're on defense, because this area is hard to hold, but this is why you play something like the Chamber, because you can get out without too much risk.
Holding on to it for now.
Kalias is still watching window for him as well, so Darian just needs to stay full focus, but oh, the timing, he wants to get ahead of it, but the smoke blooms right before.
Especially the smoke really might suggest that DFM really kind of anticipating, especially with the alt audio cue.
Yeah, it's just a hard read from DFM, right? Just saying, okay, are you on B? Because we haven't seen you on B yet. And he absolutely chomps on the bait. Now Crystal, all alone. Kellyus is nearby for a crossfire from heaven, but it looks like it's going to be a tough one. We are going to have that Cosmic Divide. Jinbung launches it. It's going to cut off Kelly S. If he wants to fill the site, they need to be exposed on a high-low. There's a lot of util keeping them tied up, and DFM says, all right, that's the call. We want to make the move across to the other side.
Holding on to it for now. Poppy does spot them on the crossing, so that's info enough.
But look at Jinbung. He reacts to it and says, I'll cut off the rest of the rotations.
Yudotan.
Meanwhile, Jinbung wins. Yudotan's still alive on the site. He's just trying to stay alive. Jinbung cleans up mid, but meanwhile, DFM all the way through the site. A hard read and a great reaction from Jinbung, eventually leading to 7 rounds.
Keeping themselves alive on all fronts, DFM. Despite G's best efforts to really try to play to their composition, right? Still just sussed out by the smokes. The mid-round decision from Jinbung to stay inside of mid to lurk out against 2 players, and also dealing against Yudotan. I mean, look at how they were able to get into sight, but within range with that paranoia. Jian out from the back.
Yeah, let's give Jian a little bit of a shout out, right? I mean, it's not like he's solo carrying the game or anything like that, but 8 and 2, looking a lot more comfortable. The team seeming to set him up better for success. Darian almost getting spotted as he breaks that door.
Trying to keep some of the attention towards mid. There is that push out towards B now, though.
Now they do have Yudotan way further out. We have seen this before. DFM, do they sense it? They have an inkling. Yudotan did see a gun barrel, but he just has so many angles to cover. He needs to watch his own back as well. Oh, that's way too many targets. Unfortunate timing. And DFM, that's the call to start pushing forward with better weaponry.
Yeah, just a little bit quick and overwhelmed. The shot up towards heaven from Akame as well. Although you have the sight, it still is Kelly S just trying to do as much as he can, but only good for the one. Now the rest of him trying to come back in to refill, but of course without the guns, it still is DFM able to land the sharpest flicks. Down to just Poppy. 1-on-4, not quite likely. The shorty in his face, point blank for DFM to collect.
Yeah, when things are going well, GN, he can just play it like he does at home, right? We're already winning, I can take these aggressive positions.
ये क्या है भाई लोग? ये भाई Valorant का मैच है.
Great to see the rookie who was put under so much pressure by everybody watching because of how well Cess performed in the offseason. But right now, yeah, I get it. It's a bit of a snowball of a map, but still great to see him start to get comfortable with the rest of his teammates on stage.
Definitely feeling that, you know, giving him that boost all throughout.
चलो आज सेट कर देते हैं पॉइंट्स वाला सिस्टम. इसको इस स्ट्रीम को ये मैच खत्म होता है ना, इसके बाद ये स्ट्रीम खत्म करते हैं और उसके बाद वो करते हैं मैच. तुम डिस्कॉर्ड पे आ जाना, वो चेक करके हम लोग वो करेंगे.
with another operator, but oh no, he has no idea. DFM's so ahead of it. They know that the only thing GE has going for them are these off positions. Crystal will hold them down for now. Paranoia comes out from afar, but no entry just yet with the jet down for DFM. GN answers back. That's a quick response from Yudotanis. Well, back towards mid just to check. Found someone. Straight back in towards A from DFM though. And Kelly sends off the flash just to buy a little bit of time. A little bit more from Heaven, not from Yudotan, but not quite able to find too much. Art just getting that position up against Kelly S. Jen with the 2 kills as well. And now just holding back sight. Already in position for Art. This way they don't have to worry about the front. Jen just going to be the scout. Lots of angles to cover. Jen not watching for it. Now Art knows of exactly the position. Poppy remembers Jin was looking up, so he doesn't have to worry about Heaven just yet. But there's still a lot of room to clear, and Art finds the timing, and it's gonna be a 9th round win.
Incredible. Just a little bit way too much for Poppy in that
हाँ
moment, but at the same
क्रिकेट
time,
24
just aren't able to
स्ट्रीम
play
भी वो
to
कर लेते हैं, वो
perfection.
स्ट्रीम का सेटअप, और इसके
DFM,
बाद
you know, getting a good read for how
3 दिन
GE can
घूमने
play.
गया था इसलिए
That's
नहीं आ
just being able to
सका
find those
कोई
counters
बात नहीं
against
भाई,
them.
मेरा इसमें
GE
नेट खराब
trying
हो
to
गया
play
था, इंडस
with that as
खेल ही
well,
नहीं
right?
पाया,
If
मैं
Darien
कोई
does
गेम
die,
नहीं खेल
they
पाया
can kind of find a trade off of it, but it's just still
मेरा नेट
not
खराब हो
quite
गया था
enough.
भाई
Yeah, I mean, GE, you might get frags, but you're not getting space. I think that's the biggest problem right now. And at this point, they're basically just saying, Darien, we just got to hope that you get some kills. I mean, let's be very honest, Darien's not exactly getting fully set up for this either. It's just a recon every start of the round.
Recon on his aim. And unfortunately, I mean, when DFM are this prepared, this sharp with the reads, you know, you're not quite able to react in time. Now with the Outlaw being sounded off towards mid as well, you gotta respect it.
Yeah, 2 Outlaws, in fact, against this half armor buy round. This is DFM showcasing that they know they can basically finish this map. Because it's not just because it's an eco, but you know that G has to try to buy up if they want any more rounds in the first half.
And for DFM, they can keep buying up. There's the first shot, down towards mid. Darren able to hold one against a Kami though, so not too bad.
Yeah, you will keep that space. That's the important thing. Now you have the trademark as well, so you have a little bit more room to work with. They are going hyper-aggressive with Yudotan pushed all the way out under window as well, but you'll take what you can get because you've already given up on mid.
So let them through. They don't know that Yudotan is here. He might be able to strike back once they fled through from stairs. But then you gotta watch out for Jinbung as well.
Yeah, the real question is Jinbung, does he catch Poppy? Uh-oh, he might have seen that gunfire as well. So he's trying to isolate the fights. He finds one, he's ready for it. Swings over, Yudotan just keeping him busy. But who's really locked with who right now? Yudotan already above him. Does he sniff it out? He does. He sees the gunfire. It's a 1v1. And it's going to be Jinbung who clears it nice and clean with the headshot.
Crouched down as well. Such a good read. Anticipates all of it in full. And now it's just a desperate play from Kelly S and Darien. Needing to go for the save. It's the second round of the last round, excuse me, of the first half, and they really need to really hold on to their guns and find whatever advantage they can going towards the round 12.
This one stings. This one stings a lot because you're one away from the Rolling Thunder as well. You'd like to do whatever you can to make that ult happen in the first half again. But with 0 creds, nobody else being able to buy just doesn't feel good. May just showcasing the DFM spray. I mean, DFM, they know they're about to win this map.
एक राउंड है और इसके बाद फिर सेकंड हाफ चलेगा.
Even down to the second half, you know, not quite sure what else you could pull out of the bag at this point.
Yeah, and you know, the graphics team was having some fun with those early graphics, but you have to wonder how different might have things been. It's not about the individual skill, but trying to build out a map pool with someone standing in so late into the off season. You have to rework certain things. You might have the playbook, but it might not suit the exact players. You got Yudotan switching back on the duelist. We've seen highlights, obviously, from Yudotan, but also from Darien as well, depending on the agencies playing. But to try to build that out across all these maps for the draft, it's so tough.
Truly, to no fault of his own, but still trying to fight back. Poppy in with the judge, holding outside of danger. That's at least one. And then Darren swings out for the next.
Can they keep hope alive? At least an extra chance going into the second half. Spike not planted just yet, so Yudotan going to be watching for the far rotate all the way around spawn. Meanwhile, everybody else, their crosshairs trained on the site.
Spots out the recon too, so they know it's going to come from this spot. Crystal, oh, unfortunately not quite able to land the burst, but there it is. Kelly S and Poppy down to the judge. Darren from the back, at least able to pick up a second round. So the first half ends at 10-2. All right, you get the pistol. You have a little bit of breathing room, at least some hope at the end of the tunnel, but it is going to be a long one for GE. And I was wondering if you were ever going to see an Odin in the first half, and it looked like he just couldn't quite give it up at the very end. But that is going to lead to that second round given over. Now, if I'm DFM, as confident as we were, like this is where in halftime you kind of got to tell yourselves like, okay, hold on. It's not over just yet, guys. Like, let's not just assume we're winning, right? Let's not just assume we can crawl around the map with the Odin. We got to play what we prepped, because 10-2, suddenly let's say G wins the pistol. It's 10-4. If they convert the bonus, suddenly you got to hope for those ult rounds to really try to close out the map. Really got to stay locked in. Absolutely right, Chobra. The game is not over. Even if they do win this map, it still isn't over. You still got to watch out for GE on some of their subsequent map picks, right? I mean, Split has been so good for them thus far, all through our kickoffs. Hopefully seeing how that can carry forward right now. I mean, really just trying to work with what they've got. Darren trying to do what he can on this role, but at the same time, I mean, a lot of DFM for how they're able to recognize and what GE wants to do.
I think a common theme for this entire Pacific kickoff has been proactivity. I mean, we praised it before, but in past metas, sometimes you had much slower metas where maybe it was too risky, but this year, it really is about clearing space and then holding on to it, pressuring the other team to move and make a mistake, really getting those forced errors out of the way. And DFM, I mean, they were pressing every single pressure point on the map in that first half.
Yeah, so much of it all throughout. Or even just holding in case someone does peek out at some point. You know, finding some of these moments against Darian, Yudotan at some points. So a lot of it really working out for them thus far.
See what the changes are. Does look like we may need to wait a little bit longer for a couple things to get sorted. I was wondering, because we were looking at the GE side during that halftime and nobody was speaking just yet, but so maybe a bit of a late start to that halftime, but now the players getting ready for the second half. Coaches finishing their thoughts. And now GE, they will have to complete a marathon if they want to extend this very first map of their elimination match, best of 3.
First map, second half. Pistols on the side of DFM though, it's me on the Sheriff.
And for GE, it's just gonna be a full send into A main at the very least, right up to the entrance. Just clear that. I mean, given the position of the trademark as well, I imagine you are just looking to barrel through, banking on the fact that it's going to be a bit of a default hold and not too much delay on the side of DFM, especially on the pistol.
You have the double controller though, so at least the Star alongside Jen to try to fend something off. The one-way comes up.
And we'll see how good this paranoia is from GN. Combination with Art's position there. There's a paranoia, but it's a little bit too late, or Yudotan perhaps a little bit too fast, way ahead of it. He's able to peek around, gets that first kill. Backup has arrived in the form of Main. He's got that Sheriff, and GN, he holds backside with the classics, opening up a little bit extra time, trying to get it there, but he misses, and it's going to be clears from Darian.
Right click, unfortunately, goes right by. Akame only able to get one. Darren with a trade, all down to just Jinbong. Goes in for the wide swing, spots out Darian with the ghost, so sharp on it, and repositions just to hold.
But Crystal's seen him, I believe. Jinbong hasn't, but I'm pretty sure Crystal saw him on the cross. Looks like it. There's the shock dart. It's just going to get the damage done. Jinbong closing the gap, and he finds the timing, going for the kill. It's a reset. Still 35 seconds.
Holds back, sets up the Star. Look at Crystal getting up with the boxes! Down with the classic, he left clicks and gets the wall bank through around the edge. Picks up the pistol round for GE.
Well, if you ever need an advertiser for the GE capsule, I mean, just spam through. You're gonna be able to get that 1v1 clutch. That was one of the more tense pistol 1v1s he's had. Both of them just trying to make sure they have the better angle, the better timing. Eventually, Crystal just says, I've had enough of this, and pushes forward, bringing GE to 3. Still far from the point to get excited, but now 5 buys. You got an Outlaw, 2 Guardians, 2 Bulldogs, full firepower in the anti-eco.
I need to keep as much as possible to keep this momentum going. drone out, and that's going to be Jinbong trying to come back in to check. Does spot it out. The outlaw sounded off by Darren as well, though.
Yeah, so DFM knows it's either a fast flood or you're not going to have too much of an opportunity, so they're already starting to encroach onto the site. Back site already cleared, Heaven still covered, but Yudotan in a little bit of trouble. He's going to extend the distance, he gets one, and he's good for two. Good backup from his teammates as well.
Able to spam away. Akame now onto his elevation, looking for anything possible with the Classic, but nothing found, and GE will be able to pick up onto everything. It's a flawless round for them moving forward.
You gotta watch out if you're GE. A flawless to let them try to get a snowball going? This is
रुक जाओ भाई, रुक जाओ फ्री में डाउनलोड नहीं कर सकते, छोड़ो मत खेलो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है भाई। इंडस खेलेंगे।
I'm gonna wait for one more round at least before I start saying anything. This is gonna be that full buy from DFM after all. The Outlaw maybe can do a little bit more in this round, but at least for now, DFM with their setups a little bit more towards mid.
GE changing up where they're hitting. It was A and then B, and now some pressure on mid. And it looks to be a mid to B pinch. It's just going to be a one-dimensional push. They're not stopping. They're going to keep going. The drone coming through. Fragment will keep them at bay for the time being, but it's just a dash across the stun. It allows Yudotan to pick up the kill. Sight opened up for GE once more.
Rifle upgrade as well. Now continuing to hold against the back. Crystal watches it in case there is more. Poppy as well in case there are some rotations all throughout mid. Here's the footsteps getting the spray down. That's the first one, but then the trade from Akame. At least strike down on towards B though, but Yudotan getting a little bit way too ahead.
All right, still 3 members for GE. They know that they're quite weak on the other side. Crystal going for the shock dart, trying to get that chip damage or maybe a cheeky little kill. Daria not able to land it. Gian good for 2. It's a 1v2, but both of them one shot. Crystal, oh, he can't land it, and May will continue to be leading for DFM. 30 HP, and he'll be able to close it out alongside GN.
Just absolute assertion. May not slowing down. I mean, GE were the ones picking up the pace against DFM, but May says, okay, I'm ready to take that challenge down into 2-on-1. Just being able to take that against them. G had a good idea of trying to get that rush against with the B split, but DFM were able to get some of these kills across. I mean, look at Gian with the spray transfer. Getting a bit of a wall bang against Yudotan as well was such a good read from DFM.
Yeah, that spray was really good from Gian. So starting to really showcase what he's good at. 17 and 6 right now for the rookie. May 12 and 9 as well. And I think that the ending to that round was just one of the more prime examples of a confidence play. Right, you called it. It's a 2v1. You're low on health, and May still just goes for the peak early first to get information, see if he can get a cheeky shot, and he wins that duel.
Really forcing G to really kind of pump the brakes again. You know, facing danger of map point now. They spotted a couple players out towards mid.
The setup wasn't so bad because you're checking for both angles. You were prepared to go for the trades from GE, but only a little bit of chip damage against GN at the end of it. Drone drawn out, and you're still pressuring mid. Meanwhile, the setup for the B side. Darren will be watching Heaven, but the rest of them, the drone doesn't catch information. Jinbong is hidden away, should catch the KO, so Akame has to back out. Jinbong, he gets ahead of it. He shuts down Yudotan. That's the dive gone.
Still able to hold again as well. The second kill going through. A third. Now looking onto the fourth. Picks it up. It's all onto Jinbong. And Poppy trying to hold off against the back line. Jinbong looking for the ace. He peeks out off the recon and gets the ace under his belt. Jinbong for DFM on towards map point.
And that's how you set up your teammates for the ace. What a nice recon. Good timing. Jinbong putting that on the board for himself. What a hold. And meanwhile, I gotta say from GE, I still just fixated on all sorts of angles, but not Jinbong, the one that's been getting the frags. Just nice and calm crosshair placement from Jinbong. A lot of us have praised him throughout the offseason, even in the opening match here for DFM, but continues to prove that value, now shooting up to 15 and 9, but also just the util has gotten even better than before.
So much. The G are truly forced to pull everything out of all the stops. It's the blades from Yudotan, but May looking to get ahead of it. Just outside the smokes, he goes for the peak. Bit of a one-tap whiff. He's gonna dash right back.
Yeah, notices one too many people, but that's the call for DFM to push out of B main. Akame gets the kill there, and Crystal trying to get through, and you do have Yudotan trying to be a menace, but eventually it's all members down on the site, and GE will take control.
Quick enough to make it happen. Now Art just trying to retake a little bit more space from Heaven, find some sight lines. Nothing found.
And they know the location of each other. Poppy and Kelnius both one away from the Oats. So if I'm Art, yeah, I don't know if I fight this. No reason to give them an early rotation to try to catch up. You just need that one extra round. You wait for the chance that you can get.
Backed up into the save. Just one round to close out this first map. GE showing a bit of resilience.
So far for GE, I mean, the few successes they've had here coming in is really just when they were able to go for those rushes. Okay, all right, okay. What? I mean, he gives them their ults, but he'll get a couple more towards his as well.
That's a fair trade. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you get 3 for your name. You know, they'll get their ults at some point anyway. You maybe just pass on this round and focus on when you're able to go for a combo yourselves. But it's really been the rushes, right? I mean, sure, eventually Crystal lost that 1v2 in the bonus. But even that one, getting onto the site, it's about the fast hits. That's where GE has been able to shine. DFM still holding that default at the very start. But the problem becomes, at what point does DFM catch on? Because you don't have any chances if you're GE. You have no way to adapt after DFM has course corrected.
Absolutely one of those things to consider and thinking about what that could mean for some of the future maps as well, given how DFM's tendencies to set up. Cosmic Divide looking to make another rush happen. The Paranoia already sent through and baited out. Yudotan now looking to lead the charge, sees the Odin Tracers, goes up through from bridge. Oh, but knocked out by the Rolling Thunder. Crystal able to strike back.
They're taking over all the way into the back of sight, but they'll just yield and decides to go for the plant onto the bridge. Cosmic Divide does go down, but DFM, they're gonna wait for backup to arrive. Jinbung, last one, coming up in mid. Crystal trying to push them out of uncomfortable positions. Gets a tag as well. That's health down for May. Whoa! What in the world is that drop shot? Gets him through the wall. Darian getting stunned. There's Yard. And with the Odin. And now they just slowly start to creep towards the spike. Cosmic Divide, how in the world are you going to defend this one? Oh no, the ability's taken away. Can they block it? No, they'll have to restart the spike defuse. There's the aftershock. Is it enough time though? Trying to block the wall, hold the door. Can they do it? No, enough time passed. Crystal going for the calculations, and yes, it is. GE will stay alive once more.
Down to just Pandemonium and Chaos, and with the wire as well, GE managed to keep themselves inside of it all. But it came so close for DFM, almost able to make it happen. I gotta imagine, I gotta see how that shot happened for me. Oh!
I mean, just drop, sees the elbow, goes for it. That's a confidence play right there. And Crystal, just knowing that that's the only option. You had to just push through. You had to get them off of it. But a lot of desperation used. You have to rely on that tour de force now. And it's been taken away, just like that.
A few seconds.
Yeah, but they know the location of it and the setup. So now the stack, look at DFM, instead of pushing out elsewhere, instead of saying we're gonna try to get a lot more space, we have lesser weapons, but we also know you guys have been liking to rush, so we're gonna stack onto the B site. Yudotan is in, can he stay alive? Can he get the kills? No, he doesn't get the kill right off the peak. Jinbung slowly creeping back in.
Roro. Oh, that's another one down. Crystal able to strike back, but Akame spots and jumps up on top of the boxes. Down to just Poppy and Darren, who's still marking the back lines, but again, it's taken away.
It's the one piece of strong firepower that they have. Poppy, he's trying to make whatever work, but it's still a 2v3. Poppy,
Jin.
He's aware of the wraparound though. With this much time, you guys aren't fighting us. What could be the answer? Waiting for Jian, but Jian also waiting.
They can keep waiting. 30 seconds, the spike is down.
Exactly. And he gets the kill. Whoa, Jian. Okay, that's a double. 20 seconds. Down to another 1v1. Art, does he have the time? He doesn't know. He has no idea. They both have no idea where they are. Oh my God. Whose senses are gonna tingle first? Spike still not cleared. Art senses something's wrong, but Darian will go for safety, checks once more, and brings GE to 7.
7 is getting close, Chobra. 7 is getting close. This entire round was close. DFM had it, especially some of the opening shots, you know, the great read against them. It was a bit of a half buy as well. And the fact that they made it happen this close really says quite a bit. Some of the confidence plays, but at the same time, down to the final moments, minute details in some of how the angles might have been held allows for GE to sneak out yet another round.
And now the operator coming into the hands of Darian, so he doesn't need that tour de force anymore, but it is a stack from DFM. It's a 4-man trap setup for that Blaze Storm. There's May, but there's the rendezvous. A couple knives out already. Can he get the reset? Not just yet. Crystal is going to help gun him down with his teammates, and GE will gladly answer back.
Holds out to the back line, and now waiting for the smoke to dissipate before they rush and send a full commit. Gravwell just to defend off and hold Jinboom alongside Jin. Can they make it happen? Dog towards the off angle. Jinboom able to get the flicks. 2 only. Kellyes and Yudotan to pick up the round for GE again.
DFM starting to get a little dicey. The creds starting to run dry one by one. Couple members still able to buy one more time in the next round. You can still get by when they have armors, but look at this. All the different angles already covered. I mean, it's a good read from GE. As soon as they get an inkling of it, they reset. For the players, make sure that they get that one round they need. Went to overtime last time against RQ as well. Yes, thanks to some of their heroics, especially from May, they were able to really push through on that one. But you don't want to risk that when you were in the lead for so very long.
Not super vocal on the screens right now, but at least, you know, recognizing tendencies and needing to play a little bit more defensive. Meanwhile, for GE, you know, they can see maybe the light at the end of the tunnel right now.
That's when you have to stay ever more patient. Can't let your mind get ahead of things. And it looks like the GE coaches perhaps reminding their players of that, just sticking to the plan, making sure they relay all information. Crystal went away from the Huntress Fury, but otherwise, GE a little dry on the ult, but obviously strong weapons in hand. DFM, meanwhile, Cosmic Divide available for that retake, so they'll leave that A site open. They'll stack on to B.
Will that work out in favor of GE, though? Quick peeks out in towards A. Yudotan able to dash away in time.
Didn't get the kill, which is very fortunate for DFM, because now they can mask information on if there's been backup, how many people are there, and exactly which agents are going to be taking their positions on A once more.
Still, though, a little bit of intel there for GE, only spotting out Art. The drone coming back into Reclair as well, and that now is when GE kind of regroups, preparing for that assault into the A site.
I like this from GE. You masked that information, but you didn't see anyone peek out from mid. So now you have the reverse reading that DFM has to be holding far back. DFM trying to get ahead of it with the timing. We do see Jinbung trying to clear out mid, but already the execute has begun onto the A site.
Flash drawn out as well. Now it's just for DFM to hold. Rotation starting to come across, but Yudotan already towards back site. Art trying to stay and hold out towards heaven, looking for some potential spams. Nothing quite just yet. Everyone able to dodge everything.
Yeah, and the bridge plan as well, so they weren't at danger on default. There's a Cosmic Divide, but look at the position of Yudotan. He's going to be able to get info from the back of site. Meanwhile, holding close, Art already gets one kill. Meanwhile, in the back, no, it's going to be Crystal still getting the kills from long range with the Huntress Fury, just making sure they cannot enter the site. But now the flood has begun. The gates have opened, and May starts to push out. Darian, good for the angle. Crystal, good on the trade, and May has to push. 1v1, and he gets it! Their hero answers the call once again to close out the very first map.
Oh my god, May, with his cape flowing in the wind, repeatedly making it happen for DFM when they need it most. His power truly shining down to those final moments. Just in a 1-on-2, takes those fights with ease.
You see him showing off the scoreboard there. I don't know what he's telling GN, but maybe just congratulating GN on the number of kills as well. Tied together with May at 17, Jinbung at 21. Really racking up those kills as that semi-sentinel on the Astra. But DFM, yes, it took a little bit longer, but going to be very happy about their first map choice of Abyss.
Yeah, definitely can keep that one in their books for now. Meanwhile, though, at the same time, despite this being a loss for GE, that attacking side, that's where they really started to experiment and cook quite a bit. You know, maybe the composition not quite working out too well for them on the defensive half, but they started to string these rounds together.
Yeah, it does just feel like if you could just get a hotter start, maybe things would be different, right? Win some of those duels in the first half, but right now in this studio, what they have to focus on is going to be that next map. You can retool that later, maybe in another match kickoff, maybe for stage 1, but it's not the time to think about that. You've warmed up, now you gotta focus on your own map pick as you get ready for the second map.
And that's truly what it is, because we still have a full series on our hands. GE definitely doing so much on Split thus far. Right now it's DFM's time to shine, but can they continue shining onto the second map?
Yeah, curious to see. I mean, there was, I think, a very stark difference in comfort level here in Abyss. So it's still a little bit hard to tell exactly who's going to feel more confident, who's going to feel more fluid going into the next map. But for the time being, TFM, they'll be able to celebrate in the back and now bring that confidence back out for the second map, while GE, they'll have to focus on what worked as they prepare for another battle against DFM. We'll send it over to the analyst desk to break down the action.
Thank you, casters. And as they were saying, DFM looked very comfortable on Abyss. Global Esports has been regularly struggling on this map, and it looks like they still have yet to figure it out. DFM, though, everything we'll say was in control. They had a little funny round on B with them.
क्या करे यार?
Of an Easter egg hunt,
क्या
but
ही कर
still
सकते हो? मैं विंडो चालू कर रहा हूँ।
I think when things get dicey for
अभी तो एक और मैच बचा है।
इसके बाद कौन सा है? स्प्लिट है।
स्प्लिट है, वो देख के चलते हैं ना।
चलो एक स्प्लिट और देख लेते हैं। अभी कितना देर में स्टार्ट हो गया?
5 मिनट।
स्प्लिट देख लेते हैं। अगर ये निकाल देते स्प्लिट तब तो मैं तो फिर देखूंगा लोटस।
अगर निकाल देते हैं तो अच्छा है।
वहाँ जीत जाते तो बढ़िया ही है, आगे जाएंगे। यार बहुत ही गंदा खेली है टीम। इन्होंने फॉर्म पे बिल्कुल नहीं बदला ना।
Especially in that first half, the game at 10-2 half is so hard to come back from. The game is sort of won and lost in that. I mean, we saw GE start to make a comeback, but your cushion isn't just big enough. Even when you start to pick up steam, you just don't have the round. You just can't afford any mistakes, and we see Jinbung ace them, and then of course that last round with a big mate clutch.
Yeah, this is not a good look for global esports right now, but I've seen enough matches here in kickoff to know that the first map might just mean nothing for the overall match result. So this is a good win for DFM, and I'm going to be curious to break down Split with you guys after this, because both of these teams are also quite good at Split. Jinbung continues as our MVP. I think overall so far in this tournament he's been pretty stellar.
He's done very well for himself, playing the Astra as well. You know, that pseudo sentinel on the defensive side, even on attack he was getting his, so very, very solid. The controller I really want to give a lot of props to is GN. I mean, he played a lot better in this game, particularly the first half. He was really kind of popping off to start off the game, and even in the earlier rounds of defense, he did pretty well for DFM, I would say. But as with the rest of DFM slowed down a little bit, you know, early on here, it really felt like DFM was slamming the sites over and over and over again and going for these executes time and time again. And what GE really struggled with, especially against the double controller, is the retakes. It felt like they were waiting out the smokes, but the thing is, it's not normal smoke timing. You see it there on Heaven, the refresh of the dark cover on top of the